Hello people, hello saints, hello everybody, hello Africa, hello America, hello Nigeria. We're back again
with another episode.
We're back like we never left. Appreciate you guys for all of the support you've been giving us. We're truly grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for sharing. Those of you that have not shared, I'm thanking you in advance. Thank you for turning on
post notifications.
That's important. Yeah, very important.
We post weekly, so you need to know that
some's coming. What else? That's it, right?
And share.
Yeah, share. I've said that already.
I do the list because
you get it every time because you're the genius in the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, anyway, welcome.
Yes.
If you've not checked out some of our past episodes, please go check it out right now. You'll see amazing things you can learn from, have fun, laugh, and all of that. And again, please share.
Yes.
They make me shine.
Entertaining us, giving us some good info about Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey. We want the scoop today.
Okay.
Where are you guys originally from?
So, you want to go first, baby?
No, you go first. No, but I went first today. I started today.
Oh, you did start today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Submission. So, I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I am Black American. I noticed in the comments a lot of times, either on Instagram or here on YouTube, people are still wondering if I'm Nigerian or not. I am Nigerian now that I'm married. A Nigerian, but I'm actually Black American, and he calls me his Anambra princess. So people were like, "Is she from Anambra?" And I'm like, "That's why I say his Anambra princess to let people know that I'm my husband's Anambra princess, but I myself am not from Anambra." So, baby, where are you from? I don't think everyone knows where you're from.
Actually, do you know that even in Nigeria, people don't know where exactly I'm from? Because I was born in Kaduna. Kaduna is not northern part of Nigeria, and I live in Lagos. So people are a bit and every time I've talked about my whole thing, I always talk about Kaduna every time. Now, but I'm from Anambra State, in the eastern part of Nigeria. Igbo by tribe, because we have too many languages in Nigeria, so Igbo by tribe. But I was born in Kaduna and I speak Hausa very well. My wife was born, everything happened in the DC area, right?
Oh yeah. So my entire family is in the Washington DC Maryland area.
Yeah, they call it DMV area.
The DMV.
But me, Anambra, born in KD, I stayed there for 20 years. So Nigerian Hausa to say, Abmoni, one of my then I lived in Lagos. Toba. My phone let you sing. Kima Yoruba song sing. Okay, so that's it. 100% Nigerian. Let's go.
Yeah. So, somebody, this is kind of like random, but somebody in one of the comments suggested that I do my ancestry because she said I look Yoruba. Did I tell you that? I think I told
Mind
you
yourself.
The other day.
This is my Anambra princess.
And I was
She's
like, it's
Igbo.
so funny because I have a lot of Nigerian friends and they all tell me I look like I'm Igbo. And I was like, okay.
That person needs to go and she didn't wear her glasses.
And I actually did do my ancestry and we won't get into the too deep into that
what is
right now. But
Nigerian, right?
30% Nigerian, but 90% African overall. So, that's all that matters.
I just brought her back home. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that happened.
Let's go.
Well, growing up, did you ever see yourself marrying outside of your culture and country?
Did you ever see yourself marrying an American?
Who's answering first?
I feel like I always answer first. I don't mind answering first. Okay, I'll go first. Okay. So, I think I said this in another video that I attended a Nigerian church for 10 years. So because that was the community I was in, I always felt like it was a possibility for me to marry a Nigerian or an African. I still kind of preferred to marry an American just because, you know, we talked about stereotypes in the last video. Oh, please. Now, we talked about stereotypes in the last video, and one that I had kind of believed, shame on me, about Nigerian men is that they were very dominating, and that I felt like I would have to change too much of me to be in a relationship with one. But I was open to it, and I felt like if God made it happen, then, you know, it could work. It would be fine. But I did know that it was a possibility, and I was open to it. Short answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, me. First, by the way, there are things that I know that pointed you towards marrying in Nigeria. You talk about your diary.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that part.
So
okay.
Tell us about it.
So, I regularly would have journal and would have like quiet time. And one time specifically back in like 2018. I remember I was journaling and listening to music, and the Holy Spirit asked me a question. And sometimes when I tell this story, I'm like, oh, randomly, I thought this. I'm like, no, there was no random. But the question was, would you marry a Nigerian or something along those lines? And I even put LOL because the question just came about like out of nowhere. So I jotted that down, and, you know, few years later meeting him, I then remembered that journal entry, and I have the journal. I'm gonna find it so I can show you. But it was just so wild. Like, wow.
No, for her, I think there are lots of, I mean, maybe.
Oh yeah, okay. And I had the dream.
Yeah, and then there was something about Twitter that you posted one time.
Oh yeah. So when I'm tell about the dream first. So a woman from my church, an auntie from my church, had told me she had a dream once. And the dream was that I married an Igbo man. I had a beautiful baby girl. You know, she was Igbo, of course.
So pre-prophetess.
The girl, baby girl, she was so beautiful, and she had my eyes. And I shared that with my husband when we first met, and he reminded me of it not too long ago. And I was like, oh wow, you know, we have our baby girl. She's still too young, so we're not sure if she has my eyes yet, but she's definitely beautiful. She has everything about her, So yeah, and then a year before I met him, I had my first birthday, COVID birthday in 2020. And it just turned out so perfectly. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. Like, no one was able to travel. You weren't advised to like gather in large groups. So I ended up having a birthday party at my mom's house. And it had like a 90s theme. It turned out perfectly. It was so nice. We had like painting and food and music and dancing. So anyway, the next day I was just like in the spirit of Thanksgiving, and I tweeted, God has really literally done so much for me, I cannot tell it all, or something like that. And I said, Alexa, play Nara by Tim Godfrey. And that was literally a year before we met. Like, over a year before we met. Hadn't even met my husband.
There is one more.
I can't find the song Nara by you.
They always listening.
Anyways, there's one that your best friend said during the wedding.
Oh, Rachel.
Yeah, I love that.
We are just gonna go down all these things. So
Yeah,
she and I were having a discussion about a presentation,
Go ahead.
a PowerPoint presentation that I had did for a youth event in my church. And I forget what part specifically I shared with her, but she was just like, do you realize that your last name is Godfrey? Like, finding God and being free, and that's all you've ever said you wanted, like, that's so powerful. And she even cried.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I am big on names, but I hadn't really, I guess, paid enough attention to the last name to kind of break it down in that way. But
like the lady did excellent say, you were saying about finding God and being free, and coincidentally your husband's your last name is Godfrey. Woo,
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so these are all pointers to show that she's gonna marry me, but she didn't see it. But I mean,
But now it's your turn to answer the question.
Yeah,
Did you ever see yourself marrying an American?
Yeah, well, so I've always wanted to. I mean, I was not in too many relationships as a bachelor or was growing up. I was just in 2 relationships. One was when I started
I think
Extreme.
people find it hard to believe.
Yeah, people find it hard to believe. I don't know why they find it hard. But if you know anybody that knows me knows this properly. One when I started dating, when I started Extreme, her name is should I call her name? No.
No, we don't want to know.
I was about to say.
Then
Did you even tell me her name?
then I had another one 10 years later. So first one was 2004, second one was 2014. And then after that, I just said no more. Anyways, so I've always wanted to, I knew there was something different about me and relationship. And I didn't want to get into too many relationship and datings and all of those things. But to be honest, I think that I would have married anybody. I was open to I remember one time I told my mom that I could marry anybody. In fact, at some point when I was turning 40, my wife was saying anybody. My mom said anybody. In fact, whether it's India, anywhere, just go and get somebody. Let's just know that you're getting married.
He told me when we met, he told me that he was this close to going to his village and picking someone. And I said, I don't know if that's a compliment because I came in the nick of time, or did he just choose anybody, Lord? Which one was it?
Anyways, but I was open. By the grace of God, God has helped me to be exposed to different part of the world, different society, different culture. By the way, my wife said something earlier, and my own part of it is that I felt like the stories I heard about Americans is that they would bust your tire when they are upset, break all your windscreen, they will carry everything, they will carry something and choke your car, make sure that
crazy people do that, not Americans.
Yeah. And I'll say, are they going to okay, but of course, these are things that people just say. But the thing is that I was so excited first to know that, number one, my wife had been in a Nigerian church for 10 years. The pastor is Nigerian. They sort of prepared her for me. God used them to just, Pastor Ife, Apostle Josh, shout out to both of you and the church. I want to do the shout out myself, you know what I'm saying? So, and you guys, total, it was almost like preparing her, and that's to say that for ladies and guys out there, whatever you're doing now, wherever you are right now, it might just be God working behind the scene, orchestrating, pulling strings, preparing you. You might not know. It might just be that there's something about this where you are right now, or what has happened in your past that God is preparing for your future. So for your husband or your wife, so just flow with God. Make sure that you're in a good place with God. So that's what I think happened to my wife, because I don't know if I would have been able to cope.
Really, for me to be in a Nigerian church, other than it just resonated with me. Like, I just felt like I should be there.
Her best friends, most of them are Nigerians, and her best food is pepper soup. You know, she's already prepped a lot of things for me, and I'm happy. Because if not, I don't know how it would have been to marry totally another. I mean, people do that. I would have been able to do that.
Yeah,
but
I think it would have been too much of a culture shock.
If
I hadn't been introduced to the Nigerian culture as much as I have, for as long as I had, I think because I did go through a lot of culture shock being a member of
and
the
my
church
wife told me for the first time
years.
some days ago that she was dating, or she wanted to date, or she was going out with one Nigerian guy. Where's my gun? Where's my gun? D, where's the gun?
Every time. Every episode.
Okay, sorry.
Water controversy.
Anyways, but for me personally, I didn't mind marrying anybody. But I mean, of course, whether Nigeria, whether Ghana, whether America, whether South Africa, it doesn't matter for me. I just wanted somebody that God has prepared for me and prepared me for.
How did your family react to the news? So we're going to do 2 questions, so we got to be brief with you.
Okay. My family, my mom, let's start with my mom. My mom was very open to the idea. She was excited from the beginning, and which kind of kind of helped me along in the process. Like I shared with you guys in another video, I kind of went back and forth a bit. But my mom is one of the reasons why I continued to kind of be open to an extent. The rest of my family, however, because when we met, I knew that if it came down to us getting married, that I would be moving out of state. That was something that I shared with like my family as I was introducing the idea of me even dating and so on. So in their defense, their reaction was very much apprehensive. But it was because I was not only sharing that I was dating someone, but I was also sharing the possibility of marrying this person and moving away. And my family and I,
Nigeria?
No, just moving out of state. Yeah, because they knew that it was supposed to be Texas. Yeah, so sharing that with them was really heavy and weighty, and they were kind of like not really receptive to the idea. They weren't very welcoming in the beginning, and I think it took some time to win them over, especially with him being a foreigner. They were just like, no, who is this man? Where did he come from? My grandmothers are very much it's so funny for me to say this, but they're my babies. I always hang out with my grandmas. I take them to doctor's appointments or, out to eat or errands, whatever it is. So sharing that with my grandmothers, they were not really hearing it at all in the beginning. But I think like having my mom in my corner, my dad eventually came over to our side. It took some time to win him over too, because, fathers and their daughters, he was very much like, no, I think you're moving too fast. I think you need to slow down. When he knew that we were looking at rings, he was not very happy at all, because at this point we had only known each other for maybe about 4 months, I think. So yeah, in the beginning, my family was not hearing it. Now my family loves him. They think he's hilarious. They see how well he takes care of me and my daughter and our son. They're like, if you like it, we love it, because they trust my judgment. I think now, almost a year in, we're 1 month shy of a year of being married. And I have not wavered in my opinion of, yes, this was the right decision. I'm in love. This is my man. He hold it down. Mm-hmm. He does what he's supposed to do. So
yeah, move trash out and all of those things.
You said what? Taking
trash out and everything.
How did we get to the chores that you do in America?
That's part of the thing that I do for her.
Where did that come from? I was trying to be sweet. He didn't even pick up on that. I was doing accolades, and he's waiting for his moment to say that he does.
By the way, but for me, I think that I don't know if your mom was on your side or on my side. I think she was more on my side than even your side, because her mom was always like, I think she saw it and she believed it and she knew it.
But what she said, I don't know if I ever told you this, but my mom said she always knew that the person I would meet and how my marriage would come about, if you will, was always going to be different. Like it wasn't just going to be, I met someone off the street, or I don't know. I'll let her explain it one day. Maybe we'll bring my mom on. But she said she always felt like it would be different. And when she heard about him, she was just like, I think this is the different.
She was 100% supportive, always there, always like giving the green light and all of this. Anyways, for me, for my own parents, when she came to Nigeria, that's after our proposal, I think 1 week or 2 weeks later, she came to Nigeria. And my family, as far as I'm concerned, I think I have probably one of the most amazing families.
Yeah.
People say that
I was so nervous, but they were so welcoming.
I have one of the most amazing family. My siblings, my dad is late, probably almost 30 years ago, but my sisters, my brothers, they all loved on her when she came. I knew that anybody that brought, they would just, everybody, even my brothers' wives, they all love my mom, because my mom is, apart from taking care of people, doing everything that she does, she prays. She's a prayer Nigeria they call it prayer warrior. She prays morning, afternoon, night. Then in the night of the night she prays. She continues praying. Nothing. I mean, so seeing her, my sister even got emotional. Like, oh my God, out of the love they had for her at first sight. And my mom, in fact, it was because my mom were meant to marry September. My mom said, "What are you guys waiting for?"
Yeah, his mom was like,
that's how I got married.
April.
In April, yeah. So just the acceptance, the love, the support, it was massive from my family. I mean, I'm not big with extended families, so it was my immediate family, and it was beautiful.
What was the biggest adjustment for you two? And you know, Erica, African men, like, especially Nigerian men, like their food. And Tim, you know, American women like what they like, you know. So, how's it been for you guys?
I'm going to let you just talk about this one and say what you want to say and how far you want to say it before I come in.
Blink if you need help.
Yeah. She's going to be like this throughout.
So the biggest adjustment, I'll answer for my husband, then I'll let him expound. And then I'll answer for myself and I'll expound. Okay. So the biggest adjustment for my husband has been food, because he moved from Nigeria. He had a housekeeper who cooked great food, great Nigerian food. So food has been the biggest transition for him. Now, for me, I wouldn't say the biggest transition for me is unique to us being from different cultures. It's kind of just because of marriage. But for me, the biggest adjustment has been moving out of state, like living somewhere different. Because like I shared, my family is like very close knit, and my entire family is in. I'm sorry, I'm trying. I feel like my eyes are shifting because she's waking up. I feel like the biggest adjustment for me has been moving out of state because my entire family is in Maryland, and I've been there my whole life. So that has been an adjustment, like especially having a baby. Never imagined I would have my first child and my cousins and my mom and my aunts wouldn't be around to, like, you know, they haven't even met her yet. My mom has met her. So yeah, for me, that has been the biggest adjustment. For my husband, I say food, and I'll expound a little bit because he's feeding baby. Because even though when I was in Maryland, I had a few like cooking classes, or whatever you want to call them, tutorials or classes, I have not yet made a Nigerian dish on my own yet for my husband. And I was talking to him about this the other day and sharing with him, just because I had to ask myself, like, why not? It's not that I can't cook. Like, I cook American food. But I had to ask myself why. And it was fear of it not being good enough, you know? And him coming from a place where he's used to eating good Nigerian food, like authentic food, I'm like, I don't want to take a stab at it and it's nasty. Like, who wants to be judged, you know? So I had to be a little vulnerable with my husband the other day, and just promised him that, yes, I'm going to start cooking Nigerian dishes, and I'm open to him being as honest as necessary in order for me to get it right. Because of course I don't want him eating nasty food and telling me it's good. Like, so that's been the apprehension, because I encourage him to be honest. And I'm like, well, if I'm telling him to be honest, what if it's not good? So yeah, we're gonna start with chicken stew. You know, even though making stew is labor intensive, I feel like I've seen it made multiple times. So I'm like, I'm confident enough I can do it on my own. And I may even record it and share with you guys. So, do you want to share about the food? And
what? Hey. Okay, Dad, speak your mind. Okay, so for me, the first I have lots of big adjustment, but work. I'm one of those people that really work very, very, very hard, and coming into the house where I'm trying to rest. Rest wasn't something that was in my dictionary, or I'll always work. Even some of my friends, they're always fighting me, you need to rest. In Nigeria, I had these massive eye bags and everything. It was chaos. So my wife, it's been a battle of trying to get me to slow down a bit. And even though I wanted it, it was almost like I was on a drug. And I'm trying to do withdrawal. Yeah,
he was fighting, like he knew he needed to rest and he wanted to rest.
It was withdrawal,
but he didn't want to rest, so he wouldn't rest.
So my brain will be fighting it, all of those things.
Yeah.
So that sometimes gets me a bit messy and all of those things. And then for working, doing a lot of things at home, like trash, like sometimes I did wash plates. Sometimes
Yeah, that
I
was
do
an
all those things.
adjustment.
Because in Nigeria, I had people that, I mean,
Did everything
before you
for
close
him.
eyes, they've done everything. Cleaning sometimes, in America, and I think we should talk about that one day, where you have to do it yourself in America. In Nigeria, you have people to come out.
Or
and
you
do
pay
it.
a premium for it. Like
Labor was easy. D kept telling me, here, walk. So at some point, there was chairs that would, my wife does it with ease, but it's a struggle for me today.
I've been
So
putting things together.
yeah,
with
but she's been
mom for years.
amazing doing most of those things. She lived alone. I think one of her biggest adjustment was also independence.
Living with someone.
Submission. In America, there's this thing that everybody's free.
But I submit well.
Let me. It's my this thing.
Hey.
It's my thing. They say you're free. Nobody. I mean, they have all these things about America: freedom and justice, equity, all those things, and equality.
Why did he say them with a frown?
Equality and everything. And that's not what I'm used to. And I'm not one of those people that wants your wife to go to work, come back 6 o'clock and start cooking and preparing everything when the husband has been home and stuff like that. I don't believe in that. So, but I mean, we have both been able to adjust properly. So, I mean, if anybody tells you that marriage and wedding is just something that just flows easily, that's not true. So there's a lot of adjustment that has to be done. So for food, which is one of the things you mentioned, I mean, for me, I'm one of those people that still want to give people grace.
Yeah.
I take my time. I like correcting in love. Before I used to be like
harsh.
I was very
I would be
harsh.
on the phone and he would tell someone something was too salty, and I'm like, you could at least thank them for it first.
Yeah, listen.
Before you start critiquing
I used to
it.
be like straightforward, baskos,
Yeah.
like nothing, no filter. I just tell them the way it is and all of those things.
But to clarify, we do eat Nigerian food at
we
home.
love Nigerian food. I mean, even
We
America here,
we-
by the way, honestly, even Nigerians that live in America here that are married to Nigerians, they still buy food. They make
Yeah,
food.
so we buy
But people
food,
work here, people are busy
freeze
here.
it.
Nobody has time, so people buy food and make. So I mean, I don't want my wife to start cooking all through. But I mean,
Here and there.
if she learns how to do that, I mean, I just told her I mean, she was truly learning how to do that before we got married. So just because
And I
too many
was
things
really
happened,
confident
she
in
got
doing it.
pregnant.
I think I just
baby
waited too
came,
long.
She was also scared,
After the-
and she was always going to ask me, "Do you like it? Do you like it?" I said, "Don't worry."
But I think
love
the
it."
problem is I waited too long after the tutorials to actually try it on my own.
Yeah, and that's what I told her. Just
And
keep
now I'm
trying.
like,
If it goes wrong,
I think I
we'll
remember what goes.
Yeah, if it goes wrong, even people that cook very well still make mistakes. They sometimes put too much salt and put them. So we just keep growing. And listen, I've also learned that, and those of you that men, please, if your wife cooks and it's not good, don't say salt is too much. Just say it's beautiful, nice, but
Yeah.
maybe there
Add a little
seems to be a
finesse.
little bit of salt, or maybe if you take down the salt, there's always a nice way of saying, but I love pepper, so it's the pepper, and my wife loves it a little bit too. So I mean, find a nice way of saying things like that. But I mean, we're growing gradually to it. But I'm open, like I'm totally.
Yeah.
I'm never one to just even my son. Sometimes he'll do something, and I'm just a bit more patient now with things. Maybe it comes with age, but I love my wife so much, so I don't want to stress out. Those are my challenges.
If there's people who are, cross-cultural dating or considering interracial, what is your one piece of advice for this?
So I'll start with Ellen and Chloe. But I mean, I'm looking forward to. I think we should get Ling and Lam to come join us in one of these meetings.
Okay.
Because they also is Nigerian and they did so well for themselves. Yeah. So I mean, when you see them post their videos, it's not like they don't have issues or stuff that's not happening. But I think we should talk about it. And we're gonna have a lot of other guests. But my advice is, if you're not ready for it, listen, trust me.
Not for the faint of
Let me
heart.
tell you something. People that live in the same house as brothers and sisters, they have issues understanding themselves. Husband and wife has issues. I mean, so people that live as neighbors have issues understanding themselves. People that live in the same community, like different communities, this one is in Ajah, this one is, they have, when they meet together and become friends, they have issues. People that live from different states, the same country, have issues. Talk to a lot of people that live in other countries. So there is nothing you can tell me about Of course, the culture difference might be huge, but then even there will be. You're born in Nigeria, but you live like 20-something years or 30-something years of your life separately, and you're going to come meet together, you will have issues.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of discipline, sacrifice, communication, just sometimes taking an L. It doesn't matter. Just that's the only way it works. When they say marriage works, it's WORK. Work is you have to keep working to make it work. If you stop working, it will start going down. So and there's no perfect person. Let me tell you something, and we're going to discuss this very soon. Die your wife, die your husband, wake up in the morning with smelly mouths. There is nothing that is normal.
Not mine.
Yeah.
Maybe it
I remember one day Rain
mine.
complained the other day.
I told him.
Rain complained that, Mommy, you've not brushed.
told him.
Oh my God.
I told her, I think she's telling me about brush.
She just cried, no.
It was first thing in the morning and I was doing, hey baby. She said,
So,
wait, so my advice.
when you're ready,
sorry.
just make sure that you're ready. For me, marriage is a decision. That's the best way I can explain it. Marriage is a decision. If the person is beautiful, one day the person will be ugly. If the person Bobby is standing, one day Bobby will go down. If the person, everything, different things will happen. Trust me. So if you marry because of any of those things, they will surely be. So it's a decision. You have to consciously have decided that I want to get into this thing and I will love this person regardless of whatever. That's my advice. Was it short, baby?
No.
D, was it short?
It was. But her idea. Oh, sorry. So my piece of advice would be open-minded. Like my husband said, nobody is perfect. People who are of the same culture and get married have things that they need to overcome and work through and figure out together. So my piece of advice would be just be open-minded, because I never imagined that the love of my life would be in another country, on another continent, let alone 10-year age difference. And maybe that'll be another video that we do.
No,
but
I'm 10 years younger.
Amen. So my advice would be open-minded and allow God to just show you that the differences actually are what make our relationship beautiful, in my opinion. Like, we have so many different areas where we're different, but we complement each other, or we're different and this may help him, or something he's aware of may help me. So I'll just say be open-minded and don't block your blessing, because dating someone who grew up differently than you, who may look a little differently than you, could potentially be the best thing that's ever happened to you. So that's my advice. So yeah, thank you guys. This was a little bit chaotic because baby girl is here. Okay, she's awake and she's done very well. So yes, we thank you guys for joining us for yet another episode of Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey. We hope that this was interesting. It was fun. We look forward to reading the comments. You guys are always.
We also say we're going to be going live sometimes.
Oh yeah. We may go live next week. In place of just the regular video, we may go live. So you guys, if you have any questions, yes, we'll be ready to answer them. Yeah. So take it.
Yeah, Rain says bye. We love you.
So thank you guys for joining us for another video. We're taking you guys small, through our meeting and our relationship.
Small is the Nigerian accent.
We're taking you guys through our relationship. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and share. Because other people can be blessed by this content as well.
That's my wife.